Okay, today is Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. My name is Bill Edgett. I'm at home. I have returned. I did not get to serve Scott Larson or William Watts with my notice of appeal, although I did receive an email in response from Scott Larson saying that he would accept service if I would email it to him. So that's very helpful. So I will email that to him, and I'll get a confirmation email from him. I'll print that out and I'll fill that out for the affidavit of service, and then I'll contact William Watts to serve him. Then I'll be able to go back to Fredericton and file my appeal. Now I also need to file summons to witness against 4 RCMP officers, and after I fill them out, David Esty told me to go to the sheriff's office to have the sheriff serve them, and that legal aid would pay for it because legal aid has assigned me a certificate, but a lawyer has not represented me, and so I'm representing myself. Also, I have this request form for video conferencing appearance. So Scott Larson told me I could also send this in via email, and it should be fine. So I will do that tonight as well. Also, I will be filing a notice of motion. I will be making an application, or notice, I'm not sure if it's notice of motion or notice of application. Here, just a second. I've got the forms right here. I've got the financial statement at 72J, and it is notice of motion form 37A in family court. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make a motion for sole custody of the children based on the medical report of Dr. Lynn Steinberg and the fact that the mother is alienating the children against me. And I will be providing case law from Canada, a story of a boy called X, a case from BC. There's a case Bruni versus Bruni from Ontario where Dr. Richard Warshak was involved in 2008-2010 area time frame, and well, their case went on for 10 years. So I think it was around 2008-2010 where they finally awarded sole custody to the father because the mother was alienating the children. And there's also a case from Nova Scotia, and that's McCluskey and Tobin. So I've got those printed out, and I will be submitting those as case law. And there's also a report that was just published in UNB, University of Law, New Brunswick, law pages by Nicholas Bala and Barbara Jo Fiddler on cases where they've reversed custody due to alienation, and this had a positive effect on the relationship with the alienated parent in, I think it was 60 to 90% of the cases. There was another study done by Richard Warshak on 82 or 84 children, specifically in Ontario family court cases, and his was, I think, was between 60 and 96% recovery rate for reattachment with previously alienated children, where the children wanted to have no contact whatsoever with one of the parents. So the studies show that the way to overcome this alienation and remedies that need to happen are the complete removal of custody from the offending parent, the parent who was actively manipulating and coercing the children to hate and reject one parent. So I've got the documents, I've got the facts, I've got the report, and I'm going to complete the documents tonight. Form 37A, notice of motion, attach my financial statement, Form 72J, and I'll go file that tomorrow. Since it is my family matter, FDSJ 697-2015, and we have a trial scheduled for November, I'm going to ask for an abridgment of time, and under Rule 6, ask that this motion be adjoined with the trial that's already scheduled because, as Judge Delaquist said, this is a time-sensitive matter. This has been going on since 2015, so 10 years now, and there needs to be some resolution to this, because the ongoing litigation damages everyone involved. And I'm going to continue to document my process and share why it took 10 years for them to, and again, there's no guarantee they're going to recognize, because it's an adversarial process. And they chose sides in the beginning, and they supported an abuser and helped to abuse me. That's why I sold my home to hire a clinical psychologist, Dr. Lynn Steinberg, to review the case and give her a clinical assessment of the files and what she found in the case. And when you're dealing with cases of parental alienation, I have found personally from the cases I've read, you can very clearly tell from the documented evidence which is the offending party. And while I believe that's possible, Dr. Lynn Steinberg, that's her job. And that was what her assessment was, that children are actively being alienated against me by the mother with the support of the province of New Brunswick, Department of Social Development, and the social workers involved. So I've been doing whatever I can to try and protect my children from this form of family violence recognized in the Divorce Act, the amendments to the Divorce Act effective March 1st, 2021. And I need help. I need help to rehabilitate and reunify with my children because of the damage that has been caused during this extended period of time. I haven't been with my children in over 2 years now. They've been withheld from me under a year-long protection order after a 6-month supervisory order was dropped, after a 90-day protection order was granted. Since that 90-day protection order was granted, I have not had my children in compliance with the divorce agreement I entered into in 2016. So, all the parties involved have helped keep the children from me in contravention of a court order and have supported child abuse. And I'll be putting all of this information together and trying to put it together in a documentary and condense it so anyone else that is going through this process will recognize what I'm going through. Anyone who's not been subjected to this process won't believe that any of this is possible, which is why I've tried to document it and show step by step how this happens and how these cases get prolonged for 10 years, because I wouldn't have thought it was possible either until it happened to me. And until you experience it, you have no idea how bad the family court system is at recognizing high conflict cases and making decisions in the best interest of the children, because usually they align with the abuser 95% of the time, according to Dr. Stephen Miller and the study he did for the state of Massachusetts. So that his report and his findings is some of the information I'd like to provide in this documentary, because he explains it so well, and he's not explaining it at a level of a doctor or a high professional. He was tasked with conducting a study and presenting this to a board, and he has presented his findings for the layman or anyone to be able to understand. And it was a very good presentation and very good work, and I hope to share this. And I hope to get through this, because it's been a long time and I really miss my children.